In the wake of the Bondi mass shooting, Australia's federal government is proposing changes to the gun laws, including setting a limit on how many guns a licence holder can own and an end to granting licences in perpetuity. But complacency around background checks and loosening of the laws may have made it too easy for shooters to get weapons, says Roland Brown, Vice President of Gun Control Australia.
The fact that this shooter had a recreational shooting licence and having 6 guns, at least one of which was a high-powered rifle with a magazine, taking a military style of ammunition. Having that kind of firepower in suburban Sydney is really mad.
The country already has some of the world's toughest laws, including mandatory licensing and background checks, as well as registration of every firearm, introduced after the mass shooting of 35 people in Port Arthur, Tasmania in 1996. 50-year-old Sajid Akram, who was shot dead by police at the scene, received his gun licence in 2023 and had 6 legally owned weapons that he and his son allegedly used in the attack. 24-year-old Naveed Akram, who has emerged from a coma after also being shot by police, had been linked by intelligence with a group suspected of association with Islamic State. But the use of intelligence in adjudicating a firearms licence is not currently required by the Firearms Act, according to New South Wales Police Commissioner Mal Lanyon. Most people with guns in the state of New South Wales got clearance by proving they were in a target shooting or hunting club, according to published police data. These clubs require training and report to the police. But about half of the 220 government-accredited gun clubs in the state had no published physical address, and a mandatory 28-day cooling-off period when a person with one gun once more was removed in 2008. Sporting Shooters Association of Australia CEO Tom Kenyon said some gun clubs arrange training at central locations so don't need physical addresses, and no training could have prevented the Bondi attack.
The real issue is the radicalisation of individuals to the point that they thought it was okay to kill their fellow citizens. They also know that there was a failure of intelligence sharing between the federal government and the state governments, and that, in hindsight, it's screamingly obvious that these people should have been stopped and they should have had 0 guns, not 6.
The number of guns in Australia has risen for more than 2 decades, with more than 4 million legally owned guns in circulation, says think tank the Australia Institute. A report in January showed 2/3 of Australians supported stronger gun laws. As the federal government is considering gun law changes, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns said on Wednesday the state parliament will also reconvene next week to discuss urgent legislation on gun control.
The government will call back the New South Wales Parliament to deal with urgent legislation that we believe is required pre-Christmas to keep the community safe and ensure there's unambiguous laws in place when it comes to public safety.